Hi, my name is Rosie Mankes, and I want to thank you for considering me as a speaker at your art center. The last several months have been very difficult for all of us, and I truly believe that my inspirational story, my true personal story of moving from adversity to emotional wellness will resonate with your audience. From September of 2015 to September of 2016, I went through a very difficult journey. During that time, my family and I had to transition my very fearful, resistant mom into an assisted living facility due to the progression of her dementia. At around the same time, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I had a double mastectomy. And just when things were starting to settle down, my 58-year-old healthy brother died in a horrific accident. Now, as you might imagine, when so much is heaped on one person, I started to live my life in fear, actually paralyzing anxiety because I felt cursed and I worried what might be coming next. But deep down, I didn't want to just be stumbling through life, just surviving and not thriving. My indomitable will to find my way back made me create a plan to become me again. But I learned very early on that it wasn't going to be just one big thing that was going to create this change, but a series of small things brought together that would allow me to move from adversity to emotional wellness, to find joy, but not just joy, real joy, and being able to share it through my speaking and my life coaching. This ignited a spark in me to not only change the way I tackled adversity, but to be able to share it with others. There are 3 parts to my speech: define happy, turn fear into fierce, stay present and in the moment. When I was in the beginning stages of trying to find my way back, one day I sat down and decided to write 5 things that make me happy. And I stared at a blank piece of paper because I wasn't happy, and I believe that that's a byproduct of going through a difficult struggle. So I took a deep dive into this, and I decided to take a look at things I gave up during that horrible year. Because when you're unhappy, you give up things that make you happy. And I started to work toward integrating them back into my life. The other thing I did was I took a look at my behavior during that awful year. I looked at the things I liked about the way I was interacting with people and things I didn't like. And I worked toward amplifying the things I liked and moving away from the things that I didn't like. In the second part of my speech, Turn Fear into Fierce, I talk about how the emotion of fear was driving me during that awful year. I also talk about how I did so much introspective searching and self-talk to try to turn fear inside out. I'll talk about how I improvised to create my new normal because my normal that I had wasn't working for me. And I'll also talk about how I use role-playing and visualization techniques to kind of rehearse, so to speak, difficult encounters that I was having anxiety about that were coming up so that I would be better prepared for them. And in the last part of my speech, stay present and in the moment. In that horrible year, I spent so much time worrying and obsessing about past decisions I had made and plotting and planning future ones. When I started to practice staying present and in the moment, staying exactly where my feet are planted, which is also called mindfulness, there was a profound shift in my life. So instead of worrying and obsessing about things, I found myself looking at what was in my present and seeing the beautiful gifts that were right in front of me and being able to rejoice in them. Because of that, my anxiety levels went down. I was feeling more gratitude, and I was totally committed and invested in the present moment. Now, why do I do that? Why do I want to be in the present moment? Because I don't want to miss the beautiful gift of now. There's so much gift in the beautiful gift of now. Now, I tell my story of how I moved from adversity to emotional wellness in an honest, emotionally relatable, and yes, sometimes funny laugh out loud way. People that have seen me speak have said that they start to appreciate the special everyday moments in their life. I've written a book about it. It's called Find Your Joy and Run With It. It's available on Amazon now. For anybody that's interested in learning more about my journey and my personal transformation, thank you again for considering me as a speaker for your Art Center.